convention.
Okay.
So we
Oh,
went to
during
the
lockdown,
convention.
you had a convention?
Yeah, we had a convention, and it was really weird because 24 hours prior, I mean, there's lots of videos out there, unless they've been suppressed, where like, people who were in the Republican Party show up for the convention, and we're not talking just, you know, members of the party. We're talking like precinct chairs and like people that have a standing in the party as like a voting member, right?
About how many
And
people showed up to that one?
that one, which I think it was in 20. Oh man, I'm racking my memory here. I think was it 2021? Because it was pretty hardcore during. It might have been in 20. I think it was 2021. I could be wrong though. Um, but yeah, it was probably 40 people ish,
Oh,
something
wow.
like that. Um, but see, that's the thing. It was only in person, and they held it on Oahu, and they weren't supposed to that year. That year they were supposed to hold the convention on Big Island, but and by they I mean the party head, right? They decided that due to COVID and blah, 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 using it as an excuse, we're not going to travel to Big Island, even though our own rules say and dictate that it happens in Big Island. We're going to hold it here on Oahu. And when we do it, we'll broadcast it on YouTube so, everybody can see it happen live. Well, they took the YouTube channel and they started deleting people's comment sections on the live feed, and then they did away with it entirely. If memory recalls, they like stopped it, and then there was a parliamentary inquiry, which is completely acceptable by our party rules, and they just stopped the meeting, cut the broadcast forcibly. Well, I wouldn't say forcibly, but with a lot of intimidation, removed those members that stood up and said, "Hey, we got some questions and we got some motions." Well, 24 hours prior to that meeting, that convention, they sent out an email telling all members that they wouldn't be allowed to raise any motions in that meeting.
And that was what? Melee Song Song, Shirlene Ostrov,
Well,
Diamond
Ostrov.
Garcia around that time?
So yes, but see, Ostrov at that time, she's like the Wicked Witch of the West, or the whatever from Wizard of Oz. She's behind the curtains running the show. And even though she wasn't chair at the time, which she is now, I think, if that's
She
correct.
magically got back in there, yeah.
Yeah, because she's part of what some people may call the Mean Girls Club,
Right?
and it's a bunch of wealthy wives, I guess, or widowers or something. I don't know, but
The
you know,
Oahu League of Republican Witches.
yes, yeah. And it's weird because they use this kind of anti persona, like, oh, I love Auntie, Auntie's so nice. When I say anti,
Right.
I'm not saying anti, I'm saying
Auntie,
the
auntie,
anti
yeah.
persona. Right.
They're going to
It's
be your
always
nice,
about,
friendly auntie in the family kind, but not really
yeah,
that
yeah,
kind. Yeah, that
yeah,
gaslighting, back to what you were saying earlier.
yeah. More and more, it's tons of gaslighting. And so they throw out this thing where they're like, if you're going to attend, you have to sign a waiver. Where, where is that in the bylaws? Oh, it's not.
We're just going
So
to
in order for
arbitrarily
me,
make up more rules for you. Don't worry.
right. And then the minute somebody tried to raise a motion, which is completely acceptable, which is it's part of parliamentary procedure. They were escorted out of the building under threat.
Huh.
And they were
Okay.
told because it was held, because get this, Melee, they rented a private venue and they rented it from Melee's Song's cousin or something,
Right.
who owned a facility out in Kapolei. So now we're on private property, and now the rules change, right? Because you're on private property, you have to adhere to what the owner of the property wants on their property. Otherwise, you got to go, or they could hold you and arrest you for trespassing.
Right.
Right?
We're 2 minutes out before we go on air, so I might cut you
okay.
off in a minute and do like the call sign and then like a little
Sure.
prayer and disclaimer. But
Sure.
yeah, I'm really curious to hear more of your story. And I see the name Ryan, so I was like a little bit nervous last time. Like I don't know, like if it's any connection to Eric Ryan and Hyra News.
No, not at all. Ryan's my middle name. That's the name I go by. My first name's James, but I go by my middle name when I talk to people.
Right,
And,
right. Well, and especially if you're
no
talking
way.
politics, I learned the hard way that yeah, if people have your real name, they might follow you around. Yeah, it's
Well,
pretty weird. But too late now.
that I'm not so worried about. But I'll yield and let you do your thing, and then we'll see how today goes. I don't even know what we're talking about, but
Well, I've got some good stuff for you. I'll switch over the mic in a minute to the computer one, and then I'll let you guys hear what I'm doing on this side. But here we go in about 30 seconds. So I'll switch this thing. I'll mute my phone, unmute the computer. Oh, let's do it now real quick and check sound. Tell me if you get sound. Check, check, check. Sound check. If you got a sound check, then give me a thumbs up.
you got a slight echo.
Yeah, slight O because the phone. All right, how's that?
That sounds good.
All right.
Although now I'm echoing, so I got feedback. I can hear myself.
Yep, let me shut down the phone thingy and we're live. Let me go on. Aloha. You are listening to KPMW Maui Mix 105.5 FM on your radio dial. Your Pinoy hit station, Puso ng Filipino, the heart of the Filipino in Hawaii. Hali'i Maili. I am MC Shy Guy. God willing, I'm your host for the day. Let's start with a prayer and say thank you to God for letting me breathe this beautiful air on this island of Maui. Thank you for giving me a voice to speak, giving me this crazy brain or this courage, whatever you want to call it, to stand up and speak out and to encourage others to do the same. Lord, please speak through me, speak to me, and reach the hearts and minds of as many people as we possibly can while we're here at this beautiful station provided by Mrs. Spiros and the KPMW Maui Mix FM family. We've got a little disclaimer. Thank you, God. In Jesus' name, I do not say amen because I have questions about Amon Ra. Jeffrey's online today, too. He can talk on that in a minute. We've got a little disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this idea exchange show do not necessarily reflect those of the station owners, the staff, the host, that's me, or any of the guests, the friends, the families, sisters, brothers, uncles, or even the pets. So please do not construe anything that we say as legal advice. It's not to be construed as medical or financial or even relationship advice or advice of any kind. We don't mean to offend anyone, although there might be some offensive ideas presented here today. It is our intention to educate and perhaps even inspire, unless prohibited by law. All rights are reserved in perpetuity. That's forever. Our inalienable, unalienable, and innumerable rights bestowed upon us by our Creator. underpinning all of it is freedom of speech, I believe. And then on top of that, we've got um, freedom to choose who represents us in our governance. And I say governance because a lot of people in Hawaii don't agree that the state of Hawaii is their government. And since they don't have chain of custody documentation for their ballots, and we've got corruption showing at the highest levels, uh, I can't disagree with them. I don't feel like it's my government. I didn't vote for this, but they are the governance that is controlling things somewhat, or they appear to have some level of control over things. So let's carry on with the show. Give me a thumbs up, friends, in the X space. By the way, listeners on the radio, if you go to x.com/Maui Freedom TV, then you can request a mic. And my hope and my intention is that this entire archipelago will be able to connect via x.com and have your own town halls, because it's really hard to get people together. And actually, one of the guests inside of the X space just now was talking about that. He saw, he had voted for Obama in 2008 and then later was disillusioned by that and decided he was going to get involved and take some civic duty seriously. He joined the Republican Party and then proceeded to see the shenanigans and the gaslighting and all of that. So we got Susie News here as well, a man Ryan and Jeff Jarrett. I've got you guys all invited for mics, but let me play a couple sound clips from the news, other news of what's going on that I picked up from my Instagram feed. For the folks who don't know, like if you're listening on x.com now or later, then if you really want to have an impact in Hawaii, you also want to get onto the Instagram comment threads and hear what people are saying, and also add your commentary and maybe get a little bit of truth to be considered, because Mark Zuckerberg owns Instagram and Facebook. He also owns an island, and allegedly, I'd say allegedly, I'm speculating here, folks. I would say that the billionaires that live here in Hawaii probably own a few politicians too. So I'm just putting that out there. Let's listen to this video right here real quick, just part of it.
So I got a whole bunch of men trying to muscle me into voting for the NDAA. Section.
Names. Who?
I don't know their freaking names. They're staffers. All right, listen to my story. If you want my story, I'll give it to you. All right. So all these staffers are in there trying to get me to vote for the NDAA. I want to vote for the NDAA. Section 219 is still in there. It's a big tech swap between us and Israel. We don't do that with anyone. I understand in the past, we've given them money for the Iron Dome, and then they get to keep the tech and we don't get any of it back. So I understand that, but it's a big issue on the left and the right. And many of my constituents have reached out. They don't want this provision in the bill. Well, the White House doesn't want it in the bill. Secretary Hegseth doesn't want it in the bill. So I'm in the back waiting for a call.
So there's this bill that has come out where allegedly it is giving Israel unprecedented access to our technology with our armed forces, and basically dictating that we have to use their tech. So that's just off the top one story. I got another one here with Nick Shirley. And I'd like to hear from the people that are in the X space right now, and some callers from Maui as well. Get onto x.com/Maui Freedom TV to request a mic and talk about this stuff. Let's hear what Nick Shirley has done to expose waste, fraud, and abuse, and then also expose the mainstream media for trying to investigate him more than they investigate the crimes. Let's take a quick listen.
Look at all these fools that never actually reported on the fraud that's taking place. So here they are. And look, we even have our op. We even have our op, CNN, right there. She investigated me versus investigating the fraudsters. In fact, her investigation on the fraud was to call the fraudsters and say, hey, are you guys committing fraud? And obviously they said no, but we know that it was different because we did the real work.
We're from CNN. Can we talk to you? This is MAGA YouTuber Nick Shirley. Back at a daycare in Minnesota, he alleged was a fraudulent facility in a now viral video. How do you know that all the allegations that you're making are true?
How do I know that they're true? Well, we showed you guys what was happening, and then you guys can go ahead and make your own analysis.
We're coming so we can make our own analysis. Are you 100% sure you're true?
Yeah, I am 100% sure I'm true.
CNN is looking into Shirley's claims. Hi, my name's Whitney Wild. I'm a correspondent for CNN. We reached out to several of the daycares featured in the now viral video. Only one daycare facility answered and said they are a legitimate business.
Look at all the press. Look at all these fools that never actually.
So, yeah, you just call up and ask them, like, are you fraud or not? And come on, CNN, you got to try harder. I want to fast forward a little bit. I got so much stuff that I would love to share with you guys, but I want to take it back to a little bit of local stuff. Let's talk about Mayor Rick Blangiardi of Honolulu saying that people just have to take the new IDs. They put these, like, in my opinion, LGBTQ looking rainbow designs onto the state licenses here in Hawaii. A lot of people, I guess thousands of people have signed a petition saying they don't want that. But let's listen to what the mayor of Honolulu is saying that we should do.
Honolulu's mayor responding to backlash over Hawaii's new licenses and state IDs. Our Ali Duclo breaks down the complaints about the design.
Change is never easy, and the switch to new Hawaii driver's licenses and state IDs hasn't been without criticism. This petition on change.org has garnered nearly 6,000 signatures so far, but don't expect a reversal.
Whatever those people were that didn't like it, that's just the way it is. We're not backing off. This is the card. Get used to it, fall in love with it, take it home, look at it, stare at it, learn to like it.
The update is the...
So what Hawaii News Now is also not reporting in this report is that Rick Blangiardi was a senior producer over there, and that there seems to be a revolving door between his office and people at Hawaii News Now. So just like we heard about the FDA and Big Pharma having a revolving door with lobbyists and legislators, well, we see the same thing here with Hawaii News Now and Rick Blangiardi's office, the mayor of Honolulu. So that's just one real funny thing. I'm going to do, I think, one more, and then I'm going to open the floor to some mics. Yeah, let's play a clip from Ralph Kushney, because, again, freedom of speech is, we got it, so we should use it. And free and fair elections are on top of that. And if we do not take back our elections, folks, that's, I'm talking to you, whoever's listening, then soon they will come for your freedom of speech. Let's listen to Ralph Kushney.
Raised by some over the voting process ahead of the election season, the primary that are more than 2 weeks away. Some voters already reporting duplicates in the mail, and some ballots apparently sent to people who are no longer alive. Election officials say it's okay, there are checks in place to ensure a legitimate primary. Bryce Moore tonight with our details.
As Hawaii's primary election season approaches, some voters are raising red flags, saying they've received multiple ballots, some addressed to people who no longer live there, while others have passed away.
For me, it wasn't a right or a left thing.
Oh, this is Keone Payton, not Ralph. Sorry.
Where it's like, let's come together. This is a problem for any party. Let's solve this problem.
Keone says he and his mom received 5 ballots between them. Only 2 were theirs, and the others had names they didn't recognize. He posted about it on social media and was surprised with the response.
A lot of people are just saying, oh, this happened to me. I got 5, I got 2, I got 4. You know, my son moved away 20 years ago. My mom passed away 10 years ago.
Hawaii's chief elections officer, Scott Nago, tells me their office works to keep voter rolls clean, and the Department of Health provides updated death records to the Office of Elections every month.
If they passed away in other states or other jurisdictions, you can notify the clerk's office that they passed away, or you can simply write not at this address if you would.
So that was the voice of Scott Nago. Yeah, we'll come back to some of those. For now, I would like to open it up to a few of our friends on the space and see if we can get a few updates. Ryan's got his hand up. I also got a text from Jeffrey saying he's got a lot to share. So, yeah, both of you guys can feel free to unmute, and then we can take turns passing it back and forth as you like. Ryan. Oopsie daisy, I'm not hearing sound on Ryan here. Let's try it again, Ryan. Can you hear me? It appears that he's speaking, but my sound system is not working now. Check, check, check. Can we get another speaking check from Ryan? Okay, I don't know what's going on right there. So I'm going to play another one of these videos for you guys while I get this sound thing sorted out. Just for the folks that are listening at home. This is about Sylvia Luke, our former, what do you call her? Lieutenant Governor. So we've heard about bribery. Now she is being indicted with 4 or 5 other people.
Thank you for joining us. We're starting with breaking news. The Attorney General's public corruption investigation has taken a major turn.
Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke is among 5 people indicted, along with former DHS Director Ryan Yamane, former DOT Director Ford Fuchigami, former PUC Chair Leo Asuncion, and businessman lobbyist Toby Solido.
Attorney General Ann Lopez is holding a press conference right now. Let's listen in.
Corruption. This is the.
So there you have it, folks. The mainstream media is now having to report on the corruption. They're also having to report on the election integrity issues, election transparency issues. Ryan, can you give us another unmute and let's check it out again? I think I had your tab muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
All right, nice and clear, except for a little bit of Charlie Brown sound. Maybe move your mouth a little bit further from the mic.
How's this?
Okay, it might be my sound issue, but go ahead.
Okay. No, I just wanted to comment. I mean, you brought up like 4 issues real quick, so you know, everybody wants to chime in when they hear something right away. I wanted to talk about the driver's license real quick. I don't think most people are aware that the DMV, and I don't have the lady's name readily available, but the head of the DMV has set up an agreement with a company. But I think that's a major issue that needs to be addressed is why is that information going to a foreign land? And now, of all places, you have it located in Poland, which could be the crux of bringing NATO into this Ukraine-Russian war. Who knows what happens to that building if it gets captured and blah blah blah. It's just a big issue that I wanted to raise, and apparently, according to Mr. Blangiardi, it's what was words in that?
Yeah, he said get used to it, stare at it, like it. Yeah, it's like total dictator type of language, in my opinion.
That's how it is.
Forget about it. Jeffrey, you got your hand up, sir. What do you have to share on this?
Well, good. This is a much, much bigger and deeper thing that's going on. And to answer Ryan, in the original Constitution for the state of Hawaii, paralleled and it matched the United States Constitution, the United States of America. But in 1978, they had a constitutional that basically allows the administrators of any branch of the government to make their own laws at a whim, and it does not have to go past, and in fact, it has superior authority to the legislature itself. So in a sense, they basically took away Article 4, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution. It says that we will be given a republic form of government. Also, to make this all make sense, in 1938, they basically took away with the Congress of the United States, took away the actual application of law, because the original Constitution said that there will be a government, and this is Article 6, Section 2 of the U.S. Constitution, and we would be given a republic form of government. There will be a single legal system over law and equity. In 1938, they blended equity and law, so equity is capricious. Equity is where you get your trust rights. Law is where you get your statutory rights, and because of that, you basically have to have a ton of money in order to take it to where you can get justice, because the lower courts are statutory courts or contract courts. You basically have to pay to get in, and to pay to get in, that means you're contracting to the agreement of how they're set up. They don't tell you this, but that's the way it is. Now, in additional to that, you put in the fact that scripture.
Oh, it looks like we lost Jeffrey. Stand by. Jeffrey, can you hear me? We lost you on the computer feed. Let's try again on the phone. Oh, it looks like I've lost sound there as well. So this X space thing is a fun challenge, folks. Thank you, everybody, for just tagging along while I get this thing fixed. I'm trying to dial in our sound settings still again because we have an echo inexplicably. Okay, here we go. It switched itself for some reason. Jeffrey, can you try that again? You cut off. All right, there you go. You're good. You're good to go. Carry on.
Well, and Ryan's right. The moment that you start talking about anything that has to do with the Constitution or AI-driven stuff or Israel, they're going to smoke you off it. They don't want the information out. And that's the scary point that we were talking about. That are extra constitutional, because we're not operating under the Constitution. We're operating under emergency powers and for military rule of the Lieber Code, and that's basically what was that, 1863. Nothing's really changed. We're just given the illusion that we have freedom. So we need to be facing reality that that's reality. Also, 1933, when they took our money away from us and we had to use Federal Reserve notes. How can that possibly be? We're basically
It's required. You cannot use gold or silver for anything
in the country. But now they made Federal Reserve notes, and you have to use Federal Reserve notes. I mean, so we have to look at this, and if people aren't figuring out because of what I just said, the facts before them, that they're not operating under a constitutional government, but rather a military management system, which was handed over in 71 to a corporate plurocracy that basically runs the United States, which is a corporate fiction that's established out of Delaware, then out of Florida. Then you look at how it's done. Well, how can a judge overturn the vote of the people?
It's an administration.
How can they do that lawfully? They can't.
Because it's an administrative judge. He's not even a true judge. He's not
But still, they still practice the law. They still issue the law. They still basically, like in California, they have this one law that forbade marriage between adults and children, and certain types of abortion, and all this stuff. And then it got passed, and I'm like, wait a second. You have a popular vote and a judge. How can that possibly be? It's a federal. It wasn't a state judge. It was a federal judge. How can that possibly be? If we are a republic form of government, we are not. And all this tells us that everyone believes are not free. Haven't been free since 1863. And I can actually push it back to basically 1812 if you want to get really technical. And then go back even further than that, 1791. And what I'm saying is, if you go back to the original Treaty of Paris, just read the Treaty of Paris. The King of England ever gave up his authority? No. People just don't read, they don't think. And the big problem is who writes the laws? Attorneys write laws. Who makes money on laws? Attorneys make laws. Who knows laws? Attorneys that come and
the election commission.
Bar association, they kick your butt. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. So yeah, all that you said is 100% factual. I just want to tell people that may be listening, if you really want to see deception and gaslighting at its finest, just go to any traffic court wherever you're located and watch the procedure. That comes out of the judge's mouth. Because you agreed to it. Well, how else do you get into the court if you don't agree to it? You don't. And then it's a bit of a catch-22. So then when you go into the court and they say, oh, you have rights under the Constitution, blah, blah, blah. How can anybody look at anybody with a straight face and say that's legitimate when you literally waived a constitutional right in order to adjudicate, in order to have a due process? That's a crux. And that's first and foremost before we even get into the facts of the case. So that was just something I wanted to on, because it's like, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. You're going to sit here and tell us we have constitutional rights when we waive them in order to have our voice heard. I want to yield with that. And yes, one more thing. And yes, we are under administrative law.
Hmm.
You've now seized that account, or maybe not seized is the right word, but now you're right.
Hmm.
You're supposed to love and take care,
So
but
yeah,
they won't.
let me
They
break
won't
that
hold you
down
in.
though,
They'll
Ryan.
hold you in contempt. Sorry, I yield.
No, you're good. I
It's a
just want to
lot.
break it down for the listeners on the radio potentially who are not very familiar with lawfare, and I myself am still learning the basics. But what Ryan was just talking about is that the legal system views regular people the same way that they view infants or a ward of the state. And that's why they try to force you to hire a lawyer because you're not smart enough to figure it out on your own. And unless you've filed the proper paperwork showing that you are of age, of adulthood, and in control of your own affairs, then they will assume that you are giving up your rights. Let me pass it to Jeffrey. He's got his hand up.
Well, that's actually absolutely right. And what Ryan was alluding to is that there's all levels of adhesion contracts and basically acquiescence into contract. Um, and you don't know that that's what you're doing. And they specifically use reverse speak, like do you understand? That means, are you going to stand under my authority? So you go in, it's a military court, but it's run by the Bar Association, the International Bar Association, and their subchapters as bar associations of the state of Hawaii, etc. In fact, there's the Bar Association for the FBI. So people have to understand it's not nothing we see and operate under is valid. But because of that, there's two things: U.S. versus Burr and U.S. versus Throckmorton. Once a fraud, always a fraud. If there's a fraud in there, if there's deceit in there, and that's what the heck? That's not Burr versus United States, but there's a couple court cases that if there's any form of deceit, any contract is void. If the government is doing things deceitful, if the judges are doing things deceitful, they basically what they're pushing on you is a fraud, and it lawfully does not exist. But you have to adjudicate it where? In their courts. So do you think you're going to get justice? No. They control every aspect of life and society. Now, if you look at that, and you look at what the Bible says about all nations coming against Israel, something has to happen for the United Nations to come against Israel, because that's actually what the wording means. If you go to the original Greek and how it's written, okay, every Israeli citizen is a dual citizen in the United States, and that has been since their existence, since 48. Actually, it was 47 when that happened, when General Resolution 242 got passed November 28th in 1947. Okay, they became a nation on the 14th of May, but they weren't in the country until the 15th of May of 1948. But each one of them has dual citizenship. This new NDA just locks that in. So exactly how all nations are going to come against Israel if, through the United Nations, if the United States actually has a dissenting vote in Congress. Not Congress, but the UN. So if we have the ability to vote against it in the UN, how can that possibly be if we're also defending them through this? That tells you one thing: the United States can't be existent at that time. So we combine the fact that the United States corporation, as it is, the debt structure that it holds, the massive military that it holds, has to come under some form of subjugation in which it no longer has the capacity to defend itself in the United Nations and defend Israel in the global scheme of things. So something is coming, some false flag, something that may not be a false flag. It could be uh, what is it? It's what do they call that? There's Samson 2, and there's one that the Russians have, and it's basically it's a single missile that has 200 miniature projectiles in it that's designed to EMP over the entire United States or any country and just wipe it out. All electronics gone. So if we look at this entire thing, we're at the cusp, the end of the deceit, because God can only allow the deceitfulness and the problems that the global empire that's supported by the Bar Association, and it's actually the Crown Chancery and out of London, and that started in 1540. And this is a whole history lesson we don't need to get into here, but the banking system that was formed then, they united with the Vatican Bank and Ilhanan Isaac Bacharach, who became Rothschild, and the banking system through the Knights of Malta and the legal system through the Knights of Malta and the Crown of England setting up the Crown Chancery Court. They control, and they've controlled everything since 1540, actually 1542, if you want to be exact. Nothing has changed. They just use the United States as a way to suck the money out of Europe, put the power structure someplace else. Once they used them up, they used us up. Now they're trying to shift everything towards the east, towards China, because China's draconian measures to control everyone is the model that they want to put on the entire world. And that being said, we have to look at the reality of that and where we're at, matched with biblical reality. And if you look at what's matched with biblical reality, the United States is POW. It's done. And they're just bleeding us out economically, getting everyone to use the usufruct, which is in the Liber Code. And you look at 38, 41, and 42, and the birth certificate is the usufruct that they use. Now, it was designed so you could operate in their system. because they're a banking system, and corporations and banking system cannot directly contract with a human being, a living soul.
Let's pin
So
in
they
it
have
there,
to create
Jeffrey. We
something
got
that they
Dylan
do with this.
Andrion in. He's a former Hawaii elections commissioner and I believe also a pastor here on the island of Maui. Dylan, are you able to
Awesome.
unmute? I want to give you a chance
Yeah.
to share
Can you
here.
hear me?
Loud and clear. Let me adjust my gain. I'm doing all the sound dials right now. Go ahead, Dylan. Tell us about yourself and how you got involved in election transparency.
Sure. Yeah, I won't take too long. I definitely wanted to hop on and get to hear everyone and contribute a little bit to this show today. So, Andrew, Maui Freedom TV, thank you so much for hosting this kind of forum. It's so important for us to be able to put our ideas together and really be more aware of what's happening in all of our different circles. So, my wife and I, yes, we're part of the team here at Kings Maui. I started as a children's pastor back in 2011, and right now we lead all of our media ministries and actually our government reformation ministry. Like we have our churches that are set on let's bring Jesus into the culture of government. We should have our seat at the table with men and women of God who are seeking to put God first and put if you want to call me a Christian nationalist, go ahead and call me a Christian nationalist. I'm saying let's put righteousness in our government and have leaders that we can trust. And so anyway, I how I got involved with even an election integrity in politics at all happened 7 years ago, and that's because I became a dad. And the first time I became a dad to my daughter Elsie Grace, who is now almost 7, so almost 7 years ago, when I held her in my arms, I really did hear the Holy Spirit speak to me, and to get into the fight and become more passionate, more educated, more involved with my community. And that just started a trajectory of being more involved. I saw that there was nothing happening in the Republican Party here, which is also a mess as much as the Democrat Party is, right? But really nothing to reach out to the young people. So I actually founded Hawaii Young Republicans and chartered. The first time it's ever been chartered with a national organization. God allowed me to be a part of that. And I'm actually, and this is kind of in the scoop thing. I'm actually being a part of the latest ticket to now be the West Regional Vice Chair of the new administration that will come in for the Young Republicans. So super thankful. Served on our board of registration for Maui County, uh, police commission, fire and public safety commission. Also on the Big Island, same thing. Founded the Filipino Chamber of Commerce. So, all these things of just being out of the church and actually bringing that kind of reformation outside of the four walls and into our community. Like that's what I'm about. That's what I'm passionate about. And I'm trying to wake up churches to say, yeah, don't stay in the four walls. Go be on the outside and be disciples outside of the four walls of the church. So right now I'm leading a nonprofit called For Liberty and Justice, and that's the mission, is to mobilize the church, wake up the city, and stand for liberty and justice. And on the topic of, and I know I'm talking really fast, but I'm trying to get this all out
You're doing
to you
great. Keep
guys.
going, brother. Preach, brother. Preach.
On the topic of Israel, I actually, I considered myself a novice in the whole area. And, the whole reason why I supported Israel was, well, that's what I learned growing up in church, right? Bless Israel and you will be blessed. And I'm like, I cannot, on an apologetic side of things, defend that to people who are now getting really entrenched with the message of Israel being genocidal and Israel this and just total anti-Semitism. I have nothing to say to that. And so what I did was I took about 30 plus of our For Liberty and Justice members here in Hawaii to a summit, a Christians United for Israel summit. They just did it over the 250th anniversary weekend, July 4th weekend, and it was incredible. And seeing that the nation of Israel is one thing, the people of Israel is one thing, and God has a specific promise and a specific plan for those people. And so I was so encouraged to be a part of that, and so much so that I have one of their speakers joining us here in Maui in September. So love to share more about that later on too. And then with the Elections Commission, this is where the baby is, right? I stepped down from the Elections Commission because I felt like God gave me a release. I felt like I did what I was there to do. I was a part of two major investigative reports that really did reveal the kind of malfeasance, the kind of corruption that's taking place, especially with our mail-in ballots. You know, that report showing the 19,000 ballots, like they won't give us all these records, so we're trying to put together, you know, what it takes to equate the number they're telling us of ballots they have, and nothing is adding up. And I was just on Keone Payton's live yesterday, and he was confronting Jill Takuda, Representative Jill Takuda, about it, saying, you know, our mail-in system's not working. What are you going to do about it? And although she prefaced every answer with, I'm not trying to pass the buck. This is a state issue. I'm not trying to pass the buck. This is a county issue. In my head, I was like, I wish I could talk to her and give her the issue that's a federal issue. So if you're listening to this Maui Freedom TV show right now, here's what we can do to put some pressure on our representatives at the Capitol Hill. Okay. The Elections Commission has voted and approved for a audit to take place in Hawaii County. And the response from the Office of Elections and the Deputy Attorney General is that we cannot do it because there's a 22-month federal law that prohibits it from happening, saying that we must preserve the ballots. We cannot, there's no reason, we can't, you know, let you go audit these ballots until 22 months after the election. Well, that's just plain lunacy to me. That would mean someone who's not duly elected and is sitting in a seat could potentially be in that seat for 22 months. By then, we're already in another election cycle. Give me a break. That is not why that law is there. It's obviously there to preserve those ballots so that no one can destroy them and there can actually be an audit. That law is there to empower an oversight body like the Elections Commission to actually conduct an audit. So while I was in DC with the Christians United for Israel Summit, I met with Ed Case. And I didn't get to meet with Jill Takuda, but I did meet with her staff. And I did say, this is what's happening. Maybe you're not aware. And they weren't, you know, they're completely oblivious to this kind of stuff. Or at least their staff is, or maybe they're playing, what's the word? Playing like they are.
Plausible deniability.
Sure, right? But I want to give you a couple emails that whoever's on this call, and if you will email these people and say, listen, our elections commission, which is a nonpartisan commission, by majority voted for an audit to happen at Hawaii County, and our state Deputy Attorney General, we haven't even gotten an official statement from the Attorney General herself, okay? The Deputy Attorney General and the Office of Elections, the Chief Election Officer, are denying the commission from doing that audit and weaponizing a federal law because of it. Please help, right? So that's what their inboxes need to be flooded with so that they cannot ignore it. And we can totally champion the fact that we're in the middle of seeing our lieutenant governor being indicted. So obviously there's a lot of corruption here, and we're constituents, concerned constituents that want to fix it and want to make sure they know that we're aware of it. So those emails real quick for Representative Jill Takuda's office, you want to email Nick Luna, and his email is nick.luna@mail.house.gov.
Mail.house.gov. Yeah, I'm typing this into the comments section.
Yeah, nick.luna, nick.luna@mail.house.gov. He's specifically assigned to election integrity matters. And then so that's Jill Takuda, right? That's if you live in Congressional District 2. And then for Rep. Ed Case's office, which is if you're in Congressional District 1, you want to email Timothy Nelson. And so his email is tim.nelson@mail.house.gov.
Ed Case's guy. And I saw a video actually about Ed Case today. I guess he's a Democrat, but he's not so much against ICE or border control, it seems.
And you know what? He was one of the few Democrats that did vote on President Trump's SAVE Act. So, you know, I had a conversation with him. If I was in his district, I would probably, you know, support him. I know we have some great Republican candidates for that as well. reason why I stepped down from the Elections Commission was actually one of our pastors run for Maui County Council. And so I'm saying, that's my mission. Love to connect with anyone on this call that's interested in that. I'm trying to get the faith community to no longer be sitting back watching things happen, but actually getting involved with our culture and with our government.
How do people get in touch with you, Dylan?
Yeah, really, website, fljhawaii.com.
Okay, FLJ, Frank, Lima, and Jeffrey, right?
It stands for Liberty and Justice, right? So
okay.
fljhawaii.com. Got some really great things happening there. So thanks again for having me. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Dylan, for the update. And yeah, I look forward to connecting more with you soon. We've got Jeffrey with his hand up. We got Elections Commissioner Ralph Cushney in as well, and Tamara Mackay, Red Time Stories. So I would like to give them some space to have the floor if they would like to share some updates with us. I've sent invites for both of them to speak. Hopefully those are going through. If you're not seeing it, but you want to speak, then request a mic, and I should see that. In the meantime, let's give Jeffrey the floor again.
What Dylan needs to do is, if there was a statement by a government official that says that they have to wait 22 months for the audit, have them provide the exact statute that says that, because that's a misreading of it. They have 22 months to require or insist on an audit.
Oh, yeah, they did it right during the Elections Commission meeting with Jeffrey Osterkamp, Esquire. Straight up misreading it on purpose, in my opinion.
No, it's not misreading it. It's freaking attorney.
Or misinterpreting it. Yeah, it's an attorney. Lie at will.
Or, if I may, or they don't read it in its entirety. What most lawyers do is there might be 4 issues within a statute, and they only address 2 or 3 out of the 4.
Cherry picking.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. Ryan's absolutely right. If people remember, in Georgia, and Trump lost in 2020, they were requiring an audit. Also, they did the exact thing in Arizona. Okay, and what happened in Arizona, they actually had one. Okay, they made a big hoorah about it and stuff like that. And but in Georgia, it got past the 22-month thing again. So the bottom line is, they knew you conduct an audit right away, because after 22 months, you're into another election cycle. So why would you say, oh, we're going to allow this government to exist, even though it's a fraud, for 2 years, and then we're going to look at it? Okay, that's not how audits work. Okay, forensic audits do not work that way.
Let's pass it to Tamara Mackay. She's got her mic turned on now, and we'll come back to you, Jeffrey. What you said is true. Tamara is now on the front lines, actually living it here in the Election Commission. Are you able to unmute, Tamara?
Am I unmuted?
You are loud and clear.
Go into a lot of details, and if Ralph wants to share more, he can. I mean, we're already working on the commission being able to even convene right now. So, but I wanted to say, yeah, the interpretation, they know what the exact verbiage is of the law, and to everyone with common sense or 2 brain cells knows that you don't hold the ballot for 20 months just because to hold it when they can be destroyed after 22 months. They're supposed to be held for 22 months in case an audit is needed. And so they're trying to say otherwise, and it's all recorded in all the meetings. But, we have to get involved outside of the same people who get up and they talk, but the citizen, not just every person needs to take one very seriously as their only goal to really have control outcomes. It affects each and every citizen. It in our back pockets as taxes have significantly increased on property taxes. It's actually.
Oh, we lost camera, or I lost. Am I guys here still?
No, she's in a dead zone, I think.
All right, she's speaking too much truth. Right, Get Out has a funny way of killing your cell signal, but it's true. Camera, if you maybe try to jump out and then back in, and we'll continue on there. But in the meantime, yeah, I'm just fascinated listening to Jeffrey and Ryan going back and forth teaching us the history and the structure of law and how all of these things actually came to be in the first place. When we get Tamara's thing worked out, would you guys continue kind of continue what's happening right now and how, like, because we have two commissioners in here actually listening, so maybe you guys have some like uncommon sense type perspective to share. Go ahead, Ryan.
Well, if I may, real quick, I think Tamara's back. So if we can hear her mic and see if she works, so we can hear the rest of her. If not, I kind of want to hear from Ralph. We haven't heard from him yet.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Okay, you're back, Tamara. We'll let you do your thing, and then we'll get to he's ready.
Yeah, I didn't really have much more to say because it's like a broken record. It's just encouraging people to get more involved because, you know, it's all done by design or to control the outcome and the narrative. And because our such a position here in Hawaii, there's a lot of things that are going on that can impact our. I think that we need more exposure and national attention because this is just at the officials. It's also happening in our political party. It's all one big. Everybody's. It's but
Yeah, I'm sharing it, by the way, guys. Please face and tag influencers, ask them.
So I saw Dylan left, and I'm going to give him some kudos because Dylan, I like for his and just as he's growing and influencing people to get involved, especially the younger generation. He's really doing an amazing job and did a new commissioner. So I'm still learning, getting involved, and right out of the chute, I've been really trying to support Ralph and getting where we need to get and where the commissioners are supposed to be making a difference in overseeing the office elections. But I'll let Ralph elaborate on that.
All right, Ralph, thank you very much. I'm Kai, Election Commissioner Tamara. Ralph, I'm not seeing Ralph's microphone being on, so I don't know if you're having a problem with it, Ralph, or if you're just wanting to listen in today. If you are trying to get a mic, go ahead and send a request, and hopefully I will see it on in. Jeffrey's got his hand up, so I'll pass back to him for the moment.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, Ralph is up, but yeah, I'll give you 1 minute, Jeffrey, and then we pass back to Ralph. You there, Jeff?
I'm still here.
Yeah, give you 1 minute, we pass back to Ralph since his mic is to be working.
What I would like, and everyone put in his button, okay? I have a federal court case that has been moved to the Ninth Circuit because the federal court in Hawaii works hand in hand with state court and the state. If you can write an amicus, with an amicus or anything, I'm saying specific things in the state constitution and how the judiciary is set up. Is I was a U.S. and is for the Court of Appeals, not the Court of Appeals in San Francisco. The court docket number is 26-305. And if you want me to
say that again,
the court docket for the appeals case in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in San Francisco is 26-305.
If I may, Jeff, if I may, can I interrupt real quick? I guess you'd say. You said case number is 26-305. Is there a precursor to that letter, like California K8? So if I Google 26-305, I will see your case number.
Yeah, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals 26-305.
Okay, thank you.
And I just said the comment now. All right, let's talk weekly, and like I'm said, being a dead horse, we're saying this stuff over and over again. But I'm doing this on the radio show because we have to keep. What's that?
Before I cut off, I'd like to just ask people to be serious about and write in and say the state is not operating, the court is passed laws and operates contradictory or in relation to the U.S. Constitution, and they've segregated our ability, the people's ability, to get justice and constitutional actions.
Oh, and it is the top of the hour. You're listening to KPNW 105.5 FM on your radio dial, your Pinoy hit station, Puso ng Filipino, the heart of the Filipino in Hawaii, Miley. We're talking election transparency. And right now we've got Ralph Cushing, Hawaii Elections Commissioner, who noticed some anomalies and a little bit here. And here's Ralph. We have unmuted for 1 second, and now you're muted, Ralph. Okay, here we go. Loud and clear.
Okay, so I don't know how much about we have in the state Supreme Court where the Elections Commission is going to happen, and basically that would mean that we can't elect a new chair, and the Office of Elections is saying that they provide staff support unless we have a majority vote of the commission, which would be a violation of the Sunshine. We can't get people to agree outside of a duly noticed meeting. So they have a circular argument that makes sense. I looked at the history of the commission. The commission formed itself in 2004, December 2004, and there was no chair to call a temporary chair. They had several different temporary chairs for 3 years before either. So we're writing responses due by Wednesday. So we'll be fine to court, and we'll see what they do. Is going to defend state, so that would be a 90% chance of what happens. But it seems like we have a rock solid case. But we'll see what they do. I know the ballots have been mailed out. I went to view the signature verification at the County of Kauai on Thursday. I was there for just over an hour. I witnessed about 300 ballot envelopes being signature verified. That 300, 100 had signatures. Of that 300, about 200 ballots or envelopes, no signature. I mean, there was no. 100 I dropped a report to the election today, Governor, in Hawai'i County, asking how possible to signature verify an envelope when there's nothing to compare it to. So with signature verification, we initiated an investigation in 2024, my preliminary report, and asked it to be put on the agenda. I requested over 7 times to have it on the agenda, and it still has not been put aside. I report to the commission, so it's effectively an open investigation. So trying to get that result, and people are, online, they're getting a lot of people are getting extra on the TV saying, well, you only can blame a person for funds. But signature verification, the way it is, I don't know that there's anything to prevent someone from voting an envelope that they get that's in somebody else's name. So it's stuff that's still known, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it. But block years ever discussing that, and I would say that sent from the office, the Attorney General office, to block those questions being answered.
Ralph, so you filed that on the day.
What they filed the case?
Yes.
I forget what exactly it was.
It was over 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
So I believe there's a timeline when it comes to questioning any election or anything election related. We're down to respond within 10 days. That's the case with any questioning. And since that timeline's been expired, you guys haven't received any proper response as of yet, right?
So the Office of Elections responded in time to the court. The court ordered to respond by Friday, and they did.
That exceeded the 10-day limit?
That was the.
I'm just trying to see if the court rules aren't properly being applied because
the court issued the order to have the response by Friday. That's all I know. So it's just an elections challenge. We're not challenging the elections.
So I see. Okay, I got it. What was the other question? Okay, and in the response, have you posted that yet?
I haven't posted on one, but you can pull it up on the court docket.
Just by looking at 26.
I'm still on the line. She probably could send it to you. The response from the court order to Nago, and then Nago's response.
Oh, send me an email and I can forward it.
Okay, I don't know how to do that. That's right. I'll figure out. I'll go to Jeff or whatever.
No, she's saying she can send it to you. So this through your email.
Oh, so it's 808 Ryan RYAN the number 4 Senate at gmail.com. Thank you.
Okay, it's that you ran for Senate.
Oh yeah, I did last election cycle. That's HRP. That's like a whole nother rabbit hole to go in. So we can talk about that another time or whenever. But yeah,
I guess I've got a few questions for Ralph as well, but I'm going to give everybody else a chance to ask any questions if they want to. All right, then I guess it is up to me. What happened inside of it? How do you see this for years ahead, fairly, with attacks coming from all directions? What is your secret again?
Well, my wife supports me first of all, so that makes it much easier. And then you just got to put it in formula and march forward.
Yeah, former Marine, by the way, also voted us in. So Ralph is pretty much over. So, yeah, thank you again for your service. And I don't have many more questions. You got an open case, and we kind of need to see how things move forward. And I have more questions for the people of the community. Like, what are you listeners, the folks that are listening to this, going to do? Because it takes more than just this mumble of people. We really have to stand on election integrity, because our freedom of speech is going to be attacked after that if we don't stand on it and demand it back.
So let me make a quick recommendation. The biggest gaps we have are signature verification and watching the collections of ballots from the drop box and receiving ballots from the post office and the reconciliation of how many ballots are being received. The counties have been blocking from doing it, and I can just speak for the county why. All the volunteers have volunteered to election observation watching. The county refers them to the state counting center, and nobody realizes that you can request to go see the signature verification. Now, I don't know if the other counties are, but at least try to see signature verification and the collection from the drop box. Just observe what you see. You can ask questions, but then make a report and send it to the Elections Commission. You just have to put it in an email, and then ideally testify to the commission saying, I went to signature verification. So in my case, I just wrote a report to the Elections Commission saying, I went to the signature verification on Thursday. I watched approximately anything else on ballot envelope getting verified. Of that, 100 looked good, 200 had no reference signature, and 9 were rejected. I count. Everything happens quick, so it's the time for without a computer or take pictures or video.
Yeah, they don't seem to like that when we take pictures and video, right?
Well, they don't want their misdeeds being memorialized, basically.
Yeah, and they'll say that they're trying to spy people's votes or something, like record who cast what vote. But I mean, come on.
Right, exactly. So, but that's the best way people to get involved. And then if you know somebody or you receive more than one ballot, I posted online some simple forms you make them. Just email the commission and say I received multiple ballots. My address and pretty basic information. Those things have been reported to the counties and the office in the past. They do anything with that information. I'm not guaranteeing that.
Circular file.
Yeah. So.
What was the email address it's sent to, Ralph?
It's the Elections Commission email. It's elections.commission at Hawaii.gov, something like that. You can look it up.
I'm going to ask Rock.
Yeah. So that's the simplest thing you can just go observe and your observations to the commission.
And I guess we got in here as well, and Ron, I guess you know the power of the affidavit of truth. I guess if we stand enough of these affidavits, that is taken as legal evidence in the court of record, and if it goes unrefuted, that becomes fact. So yeah, writing a letter is very good to let those guys know that we are watching, but I think that the affidavit of truth might actually hold a little bit more in it later on. Again, for the listeners at home, this is not legal advice. The truth is legal advice. It's for entertainment and education purposes only. Ryan and Jeffrey, you guys seem to be more learned than me. You think this will help in this case?
I'm just going to chime in a little bit. The most important court you can go into is the court of equity. So there's levels of law, and I can give you some places to look at, but if I do, they'll probably shadow ban them or delete them. But I mean, there's the creator, God. Whoever you call God, that's God. That creates man. And man created government. But every man is entitled to govern himself. And I yield with that. You guys got to go down that aspect of what we're in right now.
Yep. Equity is very easy. Our legal system was based on biblical law. Then we have this thing called statutory law. Statutory comes from the word statute, as in like fail, like
it's the bottom. Statutory is the bottom. It's for catch. It's for
employees, right? It's for government employees.
Yes, exactly. But they consider all of you a government employee because you stand up and say I'm a United States citizen and all that. But what's funny is when you watch like posts or statements from the federal government that talks about overseas, if you're trying to mess with any, they never use the word United States citizen. They always say American citizen, and it's interesting why they do that. And you got the difference. So I don't want to get into that, but are you an American citizen, a state citizen, or are you a United States citizen as part of the corporation? If you are, guess what? You're an employee.
Yeah, with that, I like this. This is a very interesting clip. I hope you guys all enjoy it. And yeah, Ralph, camera is also useful for business, I believe.
I roll that he doesn't pay taxes, and neither does any of the politicians. And that's exactly what the tax rates home tell you on how you guys are sitting, right? Tax accounts. That's 841, 162, 179, 170, and 49, 66. You're probably using 2 out of the 10, and I need you to use 7 out of the 7. This is a structure we come up with that you need to deploy inside of your business. First, have your business owned by a business trust, not by you. Once the business trust receives the funds attributed to the dynasty trust, you need section 643 for the time of the term as a family foundation. This right here is going to be using section 49.
So yeah, that's just a real short clip of him talking real fast trust law. He said it was his Jewish tax attorney that taught him this. And people always come to me saying, why do you support the Trump guy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm a the people guy. I don't trust anybody I've seen on TV. But I thought it was kind of entertaining how everybody went after Trump saying he doesn't take citizens. Yeah, of course not. He does. They know the loopholes. And then I come to find out the IRS is a complete fraud and that personal income tax is even constitutional. And back to what Ryan and Jeffrey were saying about being treated like shit by the courts. And I was there in the room seeing Ralph being treated that way. When he had the brevity to go in pro se and try to actually get justice for it, they always looked kind of my name and tried to give a mile and very polite. I thought that we would have more hearing that day, but the judge kind of, in my opinion, pulled a fast one and said, oh, we have a business after recess, and everybody, we have to from all, I support election transparency, but yeah, quite literally, the judge just said, oh, no, the next case. I'm going to get the person who else about that day, because we don't understand how trust law works, we don't understand how the legal system works, and we've been conditioned to be afraid, and that, like Jeffrey was saying, you have to pay like money, you have to hire lawyers, and then even that, you find out that the lawyers actually work for the bar, they don't work for you, they work for their own future as what do you call it, a prosecutor or a district attorney. So, oh, we lost Ralph. But yeah, just renting that side of things. Jerry, I see you've unmuted. You want to share more on that side of things and kind of bring it back up for folks to actually use the law for themselves and for our elections?
Well, yeah, I mean, in the state of Hawaii, you to operate in the state as an attorney or lawyer, you must be registered with the State Bar Association. The State Bar Association is run specifically, there's a manager. The State Bar Association is basically overseen by the Supreme Court, the state Supreme Court justice, or Supreme Court justice. If they want something to happen or not happen, you as an attorney have to abide by their rules, otherwise they'll disbar you or censor you. And I've seen the 2 attorneys that are fighting the state and state law. One got censored, one got disbarred. One of them was working for, I'm trying to remember the Hawaiian land, the Hawaiian Kingdom guy that was operating land, and he worked for on a side. But the bottom line is they control everything aspect of the law. Now, I'm going to we've got an occasion about it. The U.S. citizen, the one with the name and the social security number, not the living man. It is a
legal fiction. Yeah.
The state secretary. He who makes the thing controls the thing. So they make it up. They issue a certificate of birth and social security number, and we unknowingly use that rather than going outside into the system and keep ourselves out of the responsibility of it. We become what is called a mainpreneur, operating a main price. In other words, we take on the position of a trustee, but one who is for the conduct of a legal fiction, rather than going, I'm the heir beneficiary of that entity created in the United States Window and with the original labor code, General Order 100. And because of that, I have specific rights. Who gave me this stuff for me about in years? I cannot give up any rights. I have the order to do so. But in this case, I did not. Most people don't do that because they don't know. And they play, and when I mean the attorneys, bar, international.
If I may, Jeff, I'm sorry, so sorry to interrupt. You are 100% spot on. The thing that they're doing is they're giving consent through deceit. And that's 100%.
And that's absolutely it. Now, we can be mad at them for that, but there's some scriptural things that they don't know how their judgment in turn is going to fall. They think immunity on many things that generally gives them immunity because they created it and they believe what it says. Give to Caesar what is Caesar. That is only for specific physical things, not spiritual things. So they have encapsulated a slave system into a legal system that everyone believes is the United States. And because of that, the state are liable for everything that happened after. It just like it says that if the parent does not teach child the right way to go, the sins of the child fall upon the parent. Just like that literal reality is falling on them. So all the sins that we can see that's been portrayed on us will fall on them come the day of judgment, which is coming at us like a freight train. I yield.
Hey, Ryan, you're muted, right?
Oh, we got right now.
Yeah, he's got his hand up, but I see that his mic is still muted. And pass on that, by the way, if he runs
Okay, you're back.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to text him in there. There's I don't know how much longer it'll show up now, but there's a YouTube channel called Genesis Trust, and there's tons of good videos. It's a mixture between an AI generated video, and they're all very well produced because of AI. And if anybody on any kind of videos, you understand AI is going to put you out of a job real quick. Like it's well done. It's all 11 and it just breaks down what everybody knows, but they don't really want to break. And it's the bottom line is God comes first, and then law under God and under man, and then state and statutory law, which was made up of by who? Government trustees, right? Employees. And the way I look at it is, you own McDonald's. You walk into McDonald's, and Friday throws a mop in your hand and says, clean all this stuff up. That's not how government works. Yet everybody who deals with government goes, okay, I'll take the mop. They work for you. You're the owner. The employees don't tell you what to do. The hardest part in all of that is not having the emotion to it, because you're personally as by God you should be. And how do you operate in a system that claims justice, but at the same time, I don't know, you pay off your home and it's never paid off because you got to keep in property tax? Because why? You're in indentured servitude to the government. Is that part of the social contract? Speaking of a social contract, where's the government signature? You know, when you go and get like a state ID or better yet a driver's license, you're entering into a contract. The fundamental contract law is that the parties have meetings and come to an agreement and sign it. Does the state sign your government ID? No, you do. That's it. Welcome to the contract. You just entered into a contract, and it's an easy contract. You don't buy it. Now, my cases with the state are either does it actually exist lawfully? Was the and I get this? I don't. So the lieutenant governor, the alleged lieutenant governor, who also somehow has the as Secretary of State because of by appointment, much like the sheriff by appointment. How is that constitutional? I'm sorry, I'm going off on beat rant. And then you're talking about the tree of the Kingdom of Hawaii with the United States Navy. Who really runs this place? We are on a giant military base. That's the only reason why you say with Hawaii. The pineapples come from Mexico or the Philippines now. The coconuts come from Thailand. What do they need Hawaii for? Oh, maybe a huge money laundering operation because you have places, why is my phone here? You have places like Waikiki that basically the entire financial hub, right? He's the Wall Street of Hawaii, and everybody else is, getting outside so you can check out. But it's all about money, and it's basically all about the natural resources, the weather, the sun, the waves. What else do we have off? Huh? That's something I have heard about, like things I've heard that I don't want to talk about. I'll just get belligerent, and I'd rather not. Yeah, no, dude, I've heard a lot of stories, and let's just put it this way: if I had qualified immunity, I would push it to the. I don't even know where I was going with that.
We went on a madman re-election. We're all ranting here because we want a republic back.
Thank you. So that brings it back to the court. If here's the court process, and I know there's public dispute facts on the record. Is our governor is not a legitimate governor for the state, and I can get into that, but that is every single department. Every time they flip on the numbers, they're committing fraud. Because bottom line, the election commission in the last election certified the election prior to but more importantly, was there any cases, and I'm saying this just because there was, and it's always facts on the record, that at the time of the swearing in, there was already pending litigation, and yet the alleged doctor brought to you by Fizzer.
I love it. The alleged doctor. I don't use the doctor either.
The doctor brought to you by Fizzer.
Because
I don't want to get us in trouble.
Well, with the station here, refused to take money from Fizzer because we don't want to say it's safe and effective. It's not proven to be safe and effective.
It's totally fine. We'll never try to court. Well, we have, but we can.
Yeah, and secret military trials. And give it to pregnant women.
Your point, since we're opposed to the 1933 Banking Act and the freedom, basically the whole Constitution of banking, we're counting they took that law away from people, and a little before that, 1938, got a theory of the railroad decision, which put us into administrative law. Basically, this is other than Alaska, this is the only state that actually operates underneath. And because of that, it's basically in probate, so the judges make any precondition that they want, the administrators can do whatever they want, and they don't know what they're talking about. They can't get out of the bag because once they figure it out,
yeah.
They're going to consent of the government, and once the government figures that they don't have consent, they're over.
So. It's Latin forum consentiae, which is a conscience. I could be saying it wrong, but I don't speak Latin. I speak American. Well, but see, a court of equity, when brought forward, begets equity, or the court has a fault. And you're dealing with the cult of Saturn. Like, once you move to, you would have to, let's say if you go to court and you say, you want to say all that, and they say, oh, this doesn't matter, it's a criminal, it's considered a crime, even though there isn't an injured party. Well, you can put forward to them and just give them notice. And hey, listen, I believe in a common law court, and I believe every state within the union operates under a court, that there would have to be an injured party brought forward. Otherwise, a false claim is being entered. And the complaint is all you want. I don't care. Make complaints all day long. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to make a claim. So, you're standing too close to me, I'm complaining. So you saw my foot, now I'm claiming. And whenever you bring a claim, no complaint can come before a claim. And we answer to it. And I'm in control of this right now. I have had like countless hearings, hearing after hearing, after hearing, after hearing, after hearing, and after hearing, and eventually I'm going to go, now that in the last one I entered a claim, I'm going to go after him for 50. I don't think no response was given. I'm seeking a default judgment. You know, I don't know.
Ryan, how long has your stuff been? How many days has it been?
Oh, well, I think it was in August of last year. See, and what they're doing is they're issuing bonds using my name, which is identical.
Get a dismissal under penal code 11.
No, well, I'll write that down, but I'm not looking for dismissal. I'm looking for discharge. The reason why is I want to help the American debt. See, if I discharge it,
they're not going to discharge it like that. They won't give you. You can. I've already done this. I submitted the actual forensic audit of the bonds that were created, and they basically. I don't think it's
wait, state level?
And the work out. I basically went after one.
Wait, is that what you're doing right now?
Oh yeah.
In the 9th, in your 2-6. That's what this is about. I'm having it.
I stood my ground in court, and I go, I'm living in.
Right.
There is an injured party. I specifically go, okay, under the Sixth Amendment, I have a right to know what jurisdiction this is under. And they refuse to answer. And I go, if you don't have this and this, and since I'm a U.S. citizen because I repudiated U.S. citizenship, I basically read the report of procedure 101. That's Title 28 U.S.C. 141. Okay. You kept on doing this after I removed it to federal court because you're trying to come get someone that's not party to the case. I'm not party to this case. You're trying to get someone that's not party already. And because of that, after 18 months, it finally got dismissed. But I basically served the judge and everyone in court. We got a lawsuit against them. And they said they were certain. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm okay. They lawfully served. In your own court.
Wait a second. That name.
I'm the capital name. I'm the beneficiary of it.
Right, you're the beneficiary of it, so you're the executor to the account, right?
Yeah.
So is it the main thing to make them aware because you're dealing with a bank and not a real law firm?
They why I went through 5 different judges because I got all the information proving who I was. They did not disprove it. They tried to keep it going and they tried to trip me up to get me into an adhesion contract. And I said, I can't contract with you and I can't answer until I know the exact jurisdiction that is under. You already said it's under criminal. Well, criminal.
Did you present?
Which one is it? And they refused to answer.
Did you present your original banking instrument, your birth certificate?
Well,
you're the
filed on the Secretary of State of the state of Hawaii and the state that I was born in. That repudiated the situation, turned back the use of to them, proving that I'm the beneficiary thereof and that they are the trustees of it. And that was the federal court. Turned that on the state court, and they refused to basically yield to that reality. They were trying to push their agenda just after the second hearing. They didn't.
Yeah.
Basically, 15 months later, got dismissed because they ran out of time to appeal.
Yeah. What's it called?
It's a
failure. It's a failure to prosecute, but in Latin, it's called a ab initio, right?
Exactly.
Something like that.
Is that what they said on your card? Ab initio.
Before anything started, and because the Secretary of State was serving this across me, and they said, well, Luca served it also, and they did correct the records. So I think Green is going after Luca because he doesn't want to be held accountable for not doing his job. Because as Secretary of State, they're responsible for every record in the state. And people know that they're no longer the corporate entity, and they keep such correct records. Josh Green's trying to put his tail because I'm suing him also.
Yeah, on that video that I played earlier, amazing, like Agent KHN, they're all reporting on the Lieutenant Governor getting indicted and the other 4 or 5 people that were at high levels of government in Hawaii. But if the mainstream media is reporting on that, then I have to ask the question, what are they not going on? What are they getting us to look at here? Well, something like that, maybe you mentioned that, we're talking speculation about these are alleged ideas that we're considering, that maybe some of got thrown on the bus by some people who are doing a whole lot bigger fraud, and they just a scapegoat.
Right, exactly. So basically, 50K from some entity, it ended up in her bank, and she might not have even known it happened. And I'm going to bury all the documents that she's responsible for, including my court case against her and Green. Okay. We don't know. We don't know. Okay. And we basically, the trust is the Constitution of America. The trust has to have a grantor. Okay. It has to have a settler. It has to have a beneficiary. It has to have a purpose. So let's it. We label the grantor. In order to work with the union, the purpose for us and our posterity, the beneficiaries. It's a trust document. So everything that comes down to the trust entity law, and that's why they cannot and will not adjudicate it in any state court. All state court statutory entity law only deals with trust. Statutory cannot. So they're going to make it look like you have a constitutional principle. They're going to try to keep you in a statutory law court, not a court equitable trust called the Constitution of the United States of America.
Well, hold on. So raise it, right? Because when you go into court, it's all about contract law, right? That's what it's money contracts. That's all. Every crime's commercial. It's all about a contract. Whether or not, or if you show up and something it does, but it's how you enforce that. And yes, you could be found guilty of committing an illegal act. Now, what I did, yeah, it might have been illegal, but was it unlawful? And that's where you're coming at them with, like, oh, I don't know, I caught 8 fish today in Minnesota and Minnesota. I feed myself here. Well, sir, you broke the law. You got 8 fish. You're only allowed 7. We're gonna fight for that. But then we're gonna and what am I tell you how many fish you eat? If I'm at a buffet and I pay for the buffet or whatever, then that's a contract too. But anyway, like what I'm saying is, like, who has the right to what you cannot do as long as you're not hurting your fellow?
You take that back to your McDonald's saying, basically, you're acting like working for the McDonald's, and that they're telling you can't wear because of these contracts.
But then again, all contracts are legitimate. You have to have an agreement to it. When does the government ever sign anything? Everything's auto open. If you get a letter from any politician or anything, it's not their personal signature. It's a photocopy. It's like so like
you're going after a dead entity, and you're the main part of that entity, and you won't do the notice. And
yeah.
But they keep all that. They keep all this in place because of the seat and how they do it in court, and they do it in paperwork, and how they educate and then they everyone think that so that not firing my two actions. They make us look like we're sovereign citizens. There's no such thing as sovereign.
Yeah. Remember the term conspiracy theorist occurred after JFK, right?
Yeah.
So same thing with it's not going to be sovereign. It's going to run this stuff. or you're a citizen and hail the game.
Right.
But there is a balance of ability in there.
But you know, they go, this is a sovereign citizen argument. And
Oh,
every time comes, I go, that is a deliberate statement you should also on me, and it is a belligerent act to denigrate me before the court. I've had that in numerous times. The judges, the attorneys do that all the time. That's a false statement.
Well, so you know what my response is to the just like how you said, it's an oxymoron. But then when you think about it, it's not. And the reason why is take your average political agent or state officer or flag a cop. Now a cop can do whatever he needs to do to make sure he goes home at night, right? That's what they're all taught. I had a certain amount of guy fear of my safety, even though he was just belligerent. And I'm not going to say the reason is something called qualified immunity. Boy, that sounds a lot like sovereign citizen. So I asked the court to replace the term sovereign citizen with qualified immunity. Would that be acceptable? Oh no, because it's only for government employees. Oh, so it's not a government employee, and therefore you work for me. Why am I here today, and how is it to my benefit?
Right. If you're going in as the sovereign is not arguing. I'm a law teacher, so actually an ex-judge, and he goes, the minute you argue with them, give them jurisdiction. So you don't argue with them. You counter with a question and a statement of your standing. And if you do that, they have to answer to your statement because they're designed to argue. And they can't just be standing stands, and they have to deal with who you are. That's how I'm in the super. They can get me into their little box. So I choose to argue with them.
Well, okay. See, that's the problem right there, Jeff, and I'll tell you why. When you're dealing with a court and the words that they use, nobody gives you a dictionary of what words are being used when you're talking. Like nobody knows what a person is. Right. Like I tell everybody I'm a man. It's literally right there in my name. Because God created man, made everything that followed. Man created government. Man created the car. Man created but that was all through God, and that's why my name says that. It's not a.
That flows right from that. We are sovereign based on that. We take part of the sovereignty. And it says take dominion. So we take dominion. And in order to put people together, we then form a count. And it's now it's formed seats and the 6 great counties and the 7 great states. And it flows from that. But we're going to give a little bit of our sovereignty to them so they can do what they're going to do within the consent of the government. But now the government think that they put the spirit in the states.
Yeah, that's the reason. The people, right? So they tell you in a person that said, well, it's commercial. They'll never say if any man or woman, or if you want to get even more technical, man with womb, because that's where the word originated from. Man is a man with a womb because God created. I think it's a different mindset. I feel like we're backtracking though. What was the point of that? When you're dealing with government, my biggest take on it is you can't necessarily use their system so you can complain. You're going to file these motions, or you can come in and say, hey, I declare, right, by witness that I'm for hire unless due to the fundamental nature of law, there's another injured party, i.e., I cause party. Otherwise, if there's a legal offense that's saying I did something wrong, I provide the contract that says I'm in breach. And if I don't have that contract, how would I get in breach? You know, and that's how it basically comes down to the IRS. If you file your taxes, it's agreement. It's valid. Does the United States work in as your W-2? No, it doesn't. So
but again, they violate the Constitution all the time, and they
where did I agree to that?
Right, but from the violation of laws that we gave them the liberty to operate on. That is not going to bite before they even other people. It's basically been taken over by the Bar Association.
Oh, hey, why run the Constitution? Well, that was a good one. This is these numbers. 1CC-000159. And what's funny about this, 2 has 5 because there's a prior claim that was 9 by the court. And I got it. It's awesome. He figured out that I had to file a party, and in that claim going against the court, because as we see, there is an defense. There's an entity that's and you can look at it in material data, safety sheet, video, in signage, everything you see. And there's no competition in the Hawaii State Bar Association. But then you personally go in, you're treated. Imagine a union laboring with something to build this house, and then they hire a daily to show up. Well, the union considers scam, and that's how they treat it. Hey, you're not a union member. You didn't think it was. What you doing here? That's how they see it. Even despite the hubbub about them saying, yeah, you know, we sworn notice to the Constitution. By the way, when you come in the building, waive your amendment right in order to talk to me. In order to remedy or rights of redress, go ahead and waive an amendment and then come in and we'll talk about what you got. It's right. And why would you even? Here's the fundamental thing. Why do you even need to point it out? Like, if you go similar cases, similar situations before them, should just dismiss it on their right because they've heard this type of case? I'm assuming after 250 years, every judge has heard first recent case that they ever heard.
They want you to be their system arguments, rather than standing our ground because of who we are.
No, but see, that's where I think I'm glad you brought that up because I think that's where I was going when I got distracted. The word argument. The word argument is to make known, to fight, to apology. You're not, but everybody's growing up and throughout their entire life. Don't you argue is translated into don't you back to me? And that's the biggest thing. I'm here to argue what attorneys do, that lawyers do. I'm here to argue today. Are you going to have any arguments? Oh, you betcha. That's what the bailiff of me has said. Are you planning on being oral arguments today? Oh, you betcha. Oh, I'm here to argue. All clear. Here to everyone else. Everything that needs to be done. Right. So I just right here and run away from the word suffer. Because I know the true meaning of any word, you look up the Latin, see if it has an L by it. And the word suffer means to consent. So yeah, so take it up. Oh, did you suffer by the hands of this author? Yes, sir, I did. Oh, so you consented to it. Okay, well, he's free to go and you can kick rocks. And that's how they play, and it's all under deceit. And somehow there's equity in it because if you know it's deceit, you can, whether it's here in the law is no excuse. But if you know this or that, and the secret and handshake, it's not a government that works for the people. It's fraud.
Right. But now, for U.S. Holster, it basically says, it's own state deceit, and everything that comes by it has own standing law.
Right.
the father of lies, is so we're talking about Lucifer and system. And it's like the Masons, but the lower level, the Masons they're going to break out, but the upper level basically, Lucifer. So maybe lower hand judges, not judges, but lower hand attorneys, they're just doing the best they can. But up the very top, like say spirits, like behind the scenes, they're actually of monk seances and even the but they basically use words and what they call it the twilight language. In particular, English is the words language of all because people want to taste and the exact thing. It's different twilight language.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, but
we're doing the best we can. One thing that I would say is like, look, it's gotten so bad, and there's many of us are figuring this out. That means they're over-targeted and again because they're finding tooth and nail power structure.
well, and that's the problem because the way I see it is, people have been talking about this, from 70s, but bottom line, how is it throughout history the law can change and be so radical that over time people accept it and they just say, oh, it is how it is. And now, like you're saying, we're at the end, and people are trying to defend it. Wait, I see it. I see how the Neo in the Matrix, like I can dodge bullets, right? And they're going to change it. They're going to change it all up real soon. And it's talking to the AI and robots such as just like the film, where you know what I mean? You're going to yeah. And if you can't do that, then it's off with your head. And I think that's totally where it sucks is like I don't think there's anything we can do to stop it.
I kind of have a feeling that this whole AI stuff and this film is creating a false god called AI that everyone, including judges, are on the edge because instead of God, for instance, being fair and being one with our creator, we're going through this synthetic thing and the whole organization called the thought, and this was the meeting information how all AI and technology just go there, they're making these decisions as AI technology to run everything from that side. And that's what it's just like people get it right, they get over you so fast, and like I said, it's happening so fast that when they wake up, it's going to be completely different.
Right, and that's why they're promoting like these AI data centers, which are draining the reprogramming, some nonsense. I have no idea. I have no personal knowledge of what happens with these data centers, how it affects the natural ecosystem and all that. But I've seen videos of people that are living next to this frequency radiation generating nonsense that they can their local community, local governments, and you can think anywhere. It's like watching those things about the news channels and all the various out networks saying the exact same words and they're just repeating the same phrase. It's the same thing when people against these AI data centers and they're like, what's in their kid? Like every now and then one of them gets arrested for disrupting the peace of nonsense because they're infuriated with what's coming. And you can go to any precinct, any county, constantly. The people object to it. They should. Yeah.
And biological terms, and they haven't released the studies. Then release it. Anyway. And so you are a gun of the people, but you do not listen to people. You're a dictatorship. That's beyond communism.
Right.
Everywhere now.
Yeah. No.
Around the world.
Hey Jeff, I don't hold a blue check mark notification thing. Yeah, so I don't know if we're able to direct message each other as we talk with that. But
you be on my Instagram and my Instagram.
I don't have. Yeah, so, thank you very much for today. I know we went off on some rants, but anyway. And they do not take their lawful responsibility of their personal integrity and saying up for what their rights are. They are liable to us. What they do or not. Right. I'll leave it with this because I know we go. But yeah, it's. I mean, you could be you're a drowning rat. Maybe you can come up over everybody else. I don't know how to say it. It's like we're on the Titanic. And it seems like those power and influence get the life, but none of us know. I with that. God bless everyone.
Power plus, absolute power plus, absolutely. Oh, there's a low from the Philippines.
Oh, I'm so proud. I've drawn this for 2 hours and I didn't say a single cuss word. It's amazing.